Hello and welcome or welcome back. My name is Selena and this is Bank of Me, where we're trying to become totally debt-free and become our own bank. So if we need money, we come to ourselves. We don't have to go to any lenders. There are no credit cards. That's the plan. So in this vein and with this in mind, it is January and it is time for goal setting, I suppose. So many of you have had a tricky 2025. I know a lot of people were happy to see it go. 2025 was a mixed bag, so I got a lot done, but I also had a lot of expenses and I did learn a few lessons, and there was some emotional spending and shopping, and but there were also some emergency repairs that weren't planned for, and thinking about all of this, I think overall I did well enough. So, but that doesn't mean that I have fulfilled all my goals, reached everything. Far from it. So I see January as a wonderful new clean slate. So this year can be anything we want it to be. And life will happen, but if you are on the right tracks, if you're making your plans and you are sticking to it as best you can, you'll definitely be in a better position than if you just go, whatever, I won't be able to make it work anyway. So let's think about goals. So first of all, one of my goals is to fully fund my 6-month emergency fund. A year would be even better, but let's stick with 6 months. So at this very moment, I have about maybe 2 months worth of expenses saved up, far from 6 months. So that's going to be my main aim, 6 months. That's one. Now the next is home maintenance. So I bought an old, lovely, cute little cottage in the countryside, and it needs a lot of TLC, as you will see now when I'm actually going through my sinking funds. So home maintenance, and this is mainly unplanned home maintenance, is going to be one of my goals again. Last year my goal was to save up 3,000 euros, and it didn't happen. It did not happen. What happened was I would reach a certain amount and then something would pop up again and I would have to take some money out again, which is exactly what happened now in December or early January, which is what I have to look at. So I have this lovely binder, and I had to take some money out, which is annoying, but it is what it is. So I have to, not everything, but I have to restart that. But I had just finally reached about 1,200 euros in here. And that doesn't include all the savings I had that I then had to spend on emergency repairs. So I suppose overall, maybe I managed it. I would have to do the calculations. But my aim was to have the money, like 3,000, in the bank at the end of the year for future things and just cash flow everything that came up. And I managed to cash flow things. I didn't have to go into debt, but I didn't really manage to save what I wanted. So this year my aim is even higher. My aim is to save up 5,000 euros for home maintenance. That's the aim. So by the end of the year I want that in the bank. And that's a nice buffer that can cover, if your whole heating system goes bust, that could cover that. So that's the second. So 6 months worth of expenses saved, and also home maintenance 5,000. So those are my main goals. Now I had another item breakdown, and that was my washing machine. So I had already saved up a little bit of money, but it wasn't enough. So when the washing machine broke, I had to put it on the credit card. And I also need a new dryer, which I already know. Now that can wait until I actually save up the cash. The washing machine really couldn't wait. You need your clean clothes. So what I am attempting to do this year will be a 6-week savings challenge. So maybe you already follow this channel. It's Clever Girl Finance, Bola, and she is lovely, absolutely lovely, and very, down to earth, no shaming, very positive, and really motivational. So she has this 26-week savings challenge, and each week you're saving up a different amount. So it goes, I should have printed it the other way around. It starts with week 1, January, when we all have overspent, or many of us have overspent. So it starts off with really small amounts, $3, $7. So I'm going to use it as euros. And then it goes up, 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 up until in the last week you are saving 103. And then the total comes up to 1,378. There you go. So that happens to be, in euros, roughly what I would need to pay off the washing machine plus save up enough for a dryer. So that's about the amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. I'm not going to deposit it in a savings account, but instead I'm going to transfer it to my credit card every week. And I'm also trying to put in some extra, but these are like the non-negotiable amounts I'm going to put in. Plus, of course, when there's interest, of course, I pay the interest as well. But this is to pay down my washing machine purchase and also save up for my dryer. So that's the last thing, because I don't want, at the end of the year, 6 months worth of expenses saved, 5,000 for home maintenance available, and nothing, no balance on the credit card. That's the aim. So we're going to do what we can to get there. Now, if life happens, what can we do? But that's the aim, and that's the focus. So first of all, I need to cross this off because I've already transferred 10 euros. So I transferred 3 plus 7, so for week 1 and 2. And what I'm thinking is I'm not going to go chronologically as it is here, because then at the end of the challenge, which will be in June, it would be just massive amounts. So I think what I'll do is I keep it low for January, and then I can mix and match it. Maybe 1 week I put in some more if I can, and then I go with a lower one. So it's not going to be so steep at the end of the challenge. I think that would be helpful. So that's one. Oh, and I should say what I am saving for. Let me just put this aside, and then we can do some cash stuffing. So I'm saving for washing machine and tumble dryer. Great. And that's 2026. So that's one challenge. Now let's have a look at our situation. So this 500 euro placeholder, unfortunately, is not something extra I can put in. It's something I have to swap for another placeholder I had, because I had to take out money from the home maintenance, as I said. So yes, not ideal, but what can you do? So what do we have? We have 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 95, 2, 4, 5, 100, 101 euros. Okay, to play with, I suppose. So let me just put this in order here. Lovely. Now the first thing I will do is I will do my annual savings challenge. So last year I did a Save 1000 challenge, and that worked out great. I only started it in the second half of the year, though, in July. And it worked well, and it worked well because that kind of money I just don't dip in. I really just hide it from myself, and that's great. That's really good. I tend to maybe into another sinking fund. I might take some money out if I really need it, but this one seemed to be, the 1,000 savings challenge. It was so satisfying to cross it off. I didn't want to go and dip into it, so I decided this year I'm going to do 3K savings challenge. And this is going towards my emergency fund. So, the 6 months worth of expenses. That's one way I'm going to save it. So I'm trying to trick myself into saving it in multiple different ways so that at the end of the year I have my 6 months saved up and just, gamify it a bit. So 12 months savings challenge. So we're in January now. And we're in week 2, and I don't know if you can see this. In week 2, we have to put in 60 euros. Okay, let's go with that. So 2, 4, 6. And I will really do my utmost to do this consistently, even this month when it's pretty tight. Okay, just mark that off, and I can use this again next year, so I'm just going to use a whiteboard marker so I can rub it off again. And this, I should say, is by Little Potato Saver. Yes, so it came from Canada, and it's lovely. I really like it. It's beautifully made. The vellum, very nice. It's a little bit narrow because the dollars are more narrow, I suppose. So a 50 euro note would stick out here. So I think I'm going to just use 20s and then condense them at the end. But so that's the first thing. Done. Okay. Now let's go to my home maintenance binder. So I am sad to say I have to swap something out here. So in the home maintenance, or in the home binder, I have one for home maintenance, an envelope for home renovation. So home maintenance is something I haven't planned. Renovation is something I have planned, and that's for tree cutting, laundry. Laundry would be the dryer and the washing machine. So I took everything out and I just put 10 euros in. So it'll be a combination with the savings challenge I just showed you. Landscaping, etc., polytunnel garden. And then at the end, there's an envelope for dream home, which would be for furniture and things to make my home cozy. So in the home maintenance binder, as I said, I had 1,200. So I had 200 in here, which was lovely. And then I had 1,000 in the bank, which was great. But I don't have that anymore. I have 500 left. Spent 700. So I have to swap this. I'm taking out the 1,000 and I'll put in a 500. And yes, we'll see how it goes. I am really hoping to bring it back up ASAP, but we'll see. I'll try my best. So 5,000 I want at the end of the year, so I need 4,500 more. So that's the home maintenance. Then we have home renovations and we have dream home. So I would like to put something into the renovation, just a symbolic offering of 10 euros, so that's better than nothing. And then for dream home, I think I'm going to put in the other 20 because I do need furniture. I'm just really holding my horses, I'm not putting anything in just yet or buying anything just yet. There are other expenses that are priority. So that's 20 there. I do have a little tracker, so in total I would like to have it on this level. I would love to have 2,160 saved up. and each of these little bubbles is 120, but I put in 20 now, so that's fine, you know, that's enough to make a start, a symbolic start. So there we are. Okay. And then lastly, with a bit of change here, I can play a little maybe. So we have €6, 11 euro left. So I could, whoops, this is my back to the 80s binder, and it's also just for the emergency fund, for nothing else. So I said I have 11 here, so I could continue with this one, or do one of the scratch challenges. You know what, I might make some progress here. I'll try. So let's see. Sometimes they're really high and then it's game over, you know. Game over very quickly. So that's 8. Okay, I can do 8. Good. Will I try another one? I don't think so, because I only have 3 left. Yeah, I leave it at that. Because, yeah, the next one might be a 12 or, you know, who knows. So I'm going to put the 8 in here. And then I have 3 left. Okay. Let's see what I do with them. Okay. So this one was the savings challenge I was talking about last year. Save 1,000 by the budgeting introvert. If she does another one like this year for 2026, I'll definitely buy it, because that would be fun to do anyway. So that's that. I don't think I'm going to do scratch off here. Let me see. I have 3. Is there 3 I can use here? No. 7, 6, 7, 8. No. Okay. No, I mean, rolling the dice doesn't really make sense. I just put it in here, huh? So I'm just going to say 3. Pretend I did roll the dice. Oh, it's sticking. Oh no. That's the printer. Where do we have it? So we can... Let's just go with 3. Okay. 1, 1, 3. And that is it for my cash. But it's a start. Yeah, January is a little bit on the tricky side, right? With all the expenses and the hangover from last month. So what I also would love to do this year is to do a low spend year. So I thought a bit about... I thought about doing a no spend year, but that's immediately I thought, no, that's not for me. That's too severe. But a low spend year is different. So I might do a no spend month. I'm thinking I probably do February, because it's such a short month. I could try that. Definitely I'll do a low spend year. So I have a few categories where I thought, okay, I'm gonna really restrict, you know, spend freely, of course, on groceries in the discount supermarkets, but restrict going to fancy supermarkets, or restrict the coffee, takeout coffee. So I'm trying to wean myself off again. I got into this habit. I suppose it's, you know, rewarding yourself when you have a crappy day or you're really busy, and God, the year was busy. So you just spend too much money on coffee and things like that. So I want to, you know, tune it down to maybe 2 coffees a week outside my house. 0 would be best, but let's be reasonable and see. So that's it for my binder. And then books, I'm thinking 1 book a month, no more, because I find I have a big backlog of books, and I tend to buy, you know, like once I like one in a series, I would buy a few more, so I'm not running out, but I'm then not really reading them fast enough. So to justify all those purchases. So yeah, that's the plan. But I might talk about that in another video, how the low spend is going, and show you the categories and all that. So that's it for the second week of January. I see you next week. Have a great week and happy savings, and don't beat yourself up. And if you want, share in the comments what are your goals for this year, or what's your number one main goal. That would be great. And I'm rooting for you. We can do this. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what's coming our way. We can do our best anyway. So take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week. Bye.